INEC gets set for Ekiti and Osun governorship elections. APC members gear up for crucial presidential primary. Who leads the pack? Also on political update today, we will do a post-mortem of the Presidential and National Assembly primary elections on different political platforms. The race for placement in the 2023 general election is in its business end. It is a mixed bag of outcomes. Stay with us for these and more on the show. I am Fisayo Gunfuyi. Welcome. It's 2 weeks to the June 18th Ekiti governorship election, and INEC says it is ready for the exercise. INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu stated the commission's preparedness in a meeting with security agencies as part of efforts to ensure hitch-free exercise. The boss of the election management body also spoke on the continuous voter registration exercise.
Is getting ready for the Ekiti state governorship election. We have also gone far with similar preparations for the Osun State governorship election holding next month, that is on Saturday, 16th July 2022. At the same time, the Commission continues with preparations for the 2023 general election.
The NTA therefore urge all excess members to breast off and be fully prepared to ensure that acts capable of undermining the smooth conduct of elections are forestalled.
Similarly, the leadership of the Nigerian police has met with field commanders in Abuja to evaluate possible threats and commence groundwork for the upcoming off-season governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states.
Barely few weeks to the governorship election in Ekiti and Osun states, the Nigeria Police Force in this engagement with senior police officers is working out appropriate security measures that will ensure fair, peaceful, secure and credible electoral process in both states as well as the 2023 general elections.
As the national political landscape becomes more active, there will be new threats to our internal security, which will further challenge you as strategic police commanders. I am confident that in addressing these anticipated threats, you shall continue to deploy your wealth of experience to aid the nation in deepening our democratic values.
IGP Alkali Baba enjoins strategic commanders to sustain synergy with resident electoral commissioners and other security agencies in their respective states towards ensuring effective coordination and guarantee the success of the entire electoral process. Another issue on the front burner for discussion at the meeting is the current security challenges along the Abuja-Kaduna highway. IGP Usman Alkali Baba assures that the force is collaborating with the military, Department of State Services, the Ministry of Transportation, and the Nigerian Railway Corporation towards evolving a resilient security architecture that will address the current threats on a sustainable basis.
With just a couple of days to the much-anticipated special convention and presidential primary of the All Progressives Congress, party stakeholders are advocating a peaceful political atmosphere that will encourage a good contest.
After the emergence of the APC governorship, National Assembly and State Houses of Assembly candidates, party members are now focusing attention on who will be the standard bearer. As party members await the outcome of the just concluded screening of 23 presidential aspirants, less than 1 week to the primary, stakeholders are demanding the implementation of the party's rules as the contest to produce a sole candidate gathers pace.
Because the period of impunity, of active impunity, of just mobilizing people from the streets to say they have held a Congress our primary election to elect representatives, that period has gone and should be forgotten forever, because we are trying now to work together to build a new Nigeria.
This legacy must manifest from the All Progressive Congress, which prides itself as a party with progressive ideals, different from the other stocks. If established internal policies of succession in the party fulfills all the democratic criteria, we will not be having as much crisis in the party as we have witnessed in recent times.
It is on the foregoing that we decided to give a clarion call that as leaders, we urge our leadership of the APC to give all aspirants a level playing ground by conducting a free and fair primaries that will be acceptable to all and sundry.
Forums such as these advocate for a peaceful presidential primary in line with the wishes and demands of the majority.
It is a season for intra-party activities, a prelude to the main event, that is the 2023 general elections. Some of the conventions have gone seamlessly, while some party primaries, especially at the state level, have been trailed by controversies. Joining us is Honorable Samu, member representing Kwano, Moya North, Moya South, Federal Constituency of Abuja State. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
A couple of weeks ago, you left Abuja for home to test your popularity, especially stepping up the ladder to the Abia Central Senatorial District.
Yes.
We are watching out for the results to come out on Thursday and Friday. Your own district was delayed, and then over the weekend we started seeing some things that are reminiscent of what we refer to in the southwest as Kalu Kalu. Especially, just explain to me what happened in your zone, APC Abia Central, first of all.
Thank you very much indeed. We had the primaries, and the results came out, and I won.
What day was this?
This was on Saturday. We could not do it on Saturday because of some challenges.
We couldn't do it on Friday.
No, we were supposed to do it on
Saturday
originally.
Okay.
So there were some challenges, including security. So we now did it on Sunday. And with the results counted and all that. So I got the highest number of votes, and my opponent came distant second. However, we were waiting for them to fully, conclude the process. But they have forwarded everything to the headquarters. But I'm happy with the congratulatory messages that we have received and the followership that we have. I would want to use this opportunity to thank all those who worked with us to ensure my victory, and to also encourage them to continue to support the party so that we can go ahead and win during the general elections.
On the eve, one of the former senator withdrew. I think was monitoring activity, yes, especially in Southeast. How was it conducted eventually, and which names were on the ballot?
No, it just myself and Chief Enrico. It was after her withdrawal. So these were the people that stood for election, and I won. But that sometimes you begin to see some evil machinations, by some party administrators coming up with some strange ideas. The last rumor we had was that they are working on how to even import someone who did not buy forms and never participated in the primary elections to superimpose him on those of us who participated in the election, particularly myself, who won the primary election. So we believe that season of impunity and evil machinations by political party administrators, some of them, not all of them, that season is gone, and gone for good. Because one thing that parties do actually in a genuine democracy, in a democracy that's intended to really reach out to people and put their best foot forward, is to look for those who have the potential to really win elections and then bring the people together to grow the party, and by extent and by extension grow the economy and make sure that the democracy we are talking about is not all about, well, the election season is coming and you see seasonal politicians who gather just for the primary elections or whatever they're going to get from the aspirants. We want to have a system where people have faith in the system because they see that the process is transparent, is dependable, and is something that actually builds confidence in the followership and even the electorate, so that when they use that as a mirror, then I can see that, okay, we're going to have a wonderful election and genuine people are going to be elected.
After the political jangirova, or what we call seesaw, what is on the list now at the APC headquarters from your state?
That is what I have to find out, because we have had, like I told you, rumors of trying to do imposition. Bringing someone who did not even participate in the primary election, which I won, to be on the ballot. So I'm saying that season, I believe, has gone. When people practice impunity, that season is no longer here. Unless, but with Mr. President, who is Miss Integrity, I do not think that this party wants to subject itself to that kind of, interpretation, or to be seen from the light of doing multiple things in terrible ways. I don't think that's part of the APC.
All right, let's take some stories. We'll come back, especially now that your party is moving towards a very crucial few days and in the next couple of days. Let's quickly take a few stories as well. Other parties also are going through their processes. The national chairman of the Zenith Labour Party, Dan Wanyawu, has made some clarification on the adjustments on the timetable for pre-election and election activities. He said the discussion was agreed upon after consultations between the 18 political parties and the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Zenith Labour Party National Chairman Dan Wanyawu reaffirmed the party's position on the recent development, explaining the reason behind INEC's decision to extend the deadline for parties to hold primaries from 3rd June to 9th June.
Is for the benefit of every political party, whether the biggest or the least, if any. It was not intended to benefit one political party or the other.
For the Zenith Labour Party, plans have been concluded for the conduct of primaries election except that of the presidential and gubernatorial seats.
Once you're a member of a political party, you can aspire for any position you want within that time. It depends on the rules of the political party, whether it will accept it or not.
The ZLP party further called on aspirants to register with the party and take advantage of this year's electoral process.
The victory of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as presidential standard bearer of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the 2023 general election is now sealed with the presentation of certificate of return to him by the party's National Working Committee.
The PDP Special Presidential National Convention has come and gone. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar clinched the sole presidential ticket of the party. Presentation of certificate of return was next, a symbol of the PDP's official attestation to his victory. The party is now expected to submit his name to INEC, which will then be followed by the nomination of his running mate. The composition of the party's presidential campaign council to set the tone for the task of winning the election is the next major project of the PDP and its presidential standard bearer Atiku.
The party won. It is the party that won. Atiku Abubakar is not yet victorious. He's only been produced as our candidate, the candidate of the whole party. While I'm excited and happy for this opportunity to bear our party's flag again, let us all remember that what just happened is a contest within a family to decide how to put our best foot forward. The main contest is the one to win the presidency of our country for our party.
Some of the contestants with Atiku at the May 28 to 29 National Convention and state governors were at the symbolic ceremony in the spirit of sportsmanship and unity in the party.
The All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA has affirmed Professor Peter Nana-Chukwudi as the presidential candidate of the party for the 2023 general elections.
150 delegates who are certified members of the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA converged on Abuja at the APGA Secretariat to affirm the candidature of Professor Peter Nana-Umade, who is going to fly the party's flag at the 2023 presidential election.
If you are in support, say aye.
This was the defining moment for the party as the delegates demonstrate solidarity. But for the affirmed presidential candidate, the rousing ovation seems to be the pillar of support that places him on the path of victory ahead of others as he joins in the race to chart the roadmap for a new Nigeria.
I am stepping out with the triple banner of rule of law, separation of powers, and due process.
The chief returning officer APGA presidential primary election and some of the delegates are confident that Professor Umade is the right man for the president's job. The national chairman, Victor Oye, expressed resolution of the party to remain united in the face of divisive insinuations amongst party faithful.
That we are people of propriety, people of order, people of discipline and integrity.
The All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA is also mobilizing support for all its candidates nationwide.
And lastly, Mazi Anyajike is the presidential candidate of the National Rescue Movement. He got 180 votes to defeat 9 other aspirants.
We have been working on this thing for the past 2 months, and it has come to materialize. And at least we can now stand among the League of Parties that we have a candidate.
A passionate Mazi Anyajike is excited about the opportunity given to him to contest for the seat of President of Nigeria under the NRM. The party says it adopted the direct primaries to elect the candidate that will spearhead its vision of rescuing Nigeria from difficult times, restoring unity and ensuring progress. 9 aspirants contested, but before voting started, one of them, Francis Ebo, stepped down to declare support for Mazi Anyajike. 241 delegates were accredited to vote. 235 votes were declared valid and 6 invalid.
Mazi haven't secured the highest number of votes.
Mazi Anyajike won the contest with 180 votes. The only female aspirant, Professor Benedicta Ebo, came second with 34 votes. 3 of the aspirants voiced their grievances over what they believed are irregularities which played out during the process.
We will look into litigation matters and Nigerians will know what we are talking about at the end of the day. We have all our evidence, and when the time comes, Nigerians will hear.
As the party gears towards the 2023 general elections, supporters will want party leaders to address any dissension within the ranks in good time to give the party the momentum it needs before the general elections.
It is the electioneering season and intra-party and all that. A lot of people have even saying that the contract should be awarded for the road to the villa because so many people are joining that road at this time. So they need the road to be very strong. Eventually, many are called, but few. Eventually, one will be chosen. Honorable Samu Nuigbo, many will say Samu Nuigbo is still here with us. Where do we go from here? You've contested, of course, we'll eventually get what the outcome will be after all the push and shove that we are seeing, and the police.
No, there's no outcome. I won the election. That one is not in dispute at all. So if anybody is thinking of doing anything, different from that, that's what be the proper interpretation of evil machination. I won the election clearly. That's not in dispute.
All right, let's quickly look at your party. In a few days, you again, there will be taking it from Hope 93 that was Abiola's coinage on the march again, and that will be that between Monday and Wednesday. Now, what are expectations for your party as the special convention and presidential primary gets very close?
a peaceful outcome that holds a lot of hope for Nigerians, that will provide the opportunity for continuity on the outstanding legacies that President Muhammadu Buhari has established. That just should be the hope. There will be massive improvement on what has been done so far because the foundation block are in place. So we want to see a situation where the country is moving with the youth, moving with everyone, and there's employment and all that. Foundation has been laid. So it's going to be a steady progress.
You have laid your own foundation. First, for your people in terms of the people you represent, Ikwano, Maya, North and South Federal Constituency. Now you're trying to take a step further on to Abia Central. And you sponsored the Climate Change Bill, now Act of Parliament. Talking about the political climate in Nigeria, are we improving or are we still on the same spot?
Well, there's been some improvements. It's a mixed bag, actually. But there's been some improvement because if you approach it from the angle of, okay, how we used to do elections before. I recall that previously, like what I was referring to, Evil Machination, you see individuals who did not participate in elections, primary elections being imposed. But over time, with the Electoral Act amendment steadily, that has been eliminated. No one thinks of such a thing right now. And we have also improved from the angle of how we are to conduct the primaries and clear up matters associated with pre-election matters. If you're going to court, if there are contestations, those things are expected to be resolved before you know exactly who you are voting for. And whoever you vote for will remain if he wins, either as governor or as a member of the House of Assembly, House of Representatives, Senate, without the prospect of, he has been removed from the court. That's one of the aspects. The other thing is that over time, people have realized that if we put our acts together, we'll be able to make massive improvement. There are a few states that have actually recorded fantastic improvement coming from the activities of those they elected. So there's no doubt that we are making improvement, but we need to do a lot more.
All right, still a few more months, almost a year left in the National Assembly. As that this politicking, going back, trying to get party nominations and then eventually pushing for elections and stuff, has it stalled lawmaking and consultations for development at the grassroots level?
Not completely, but there's no doubt that this season has taken away a lot of, man hours, hours devoted in going for consultations, the National Assembly, going on brief recess, and wanting to do everything well, but that does not mean that things have come to a standstill at the local level. As a matter of fact, the business of the law of the National Assembly is lawmaking. The executive has the responsibility of executing policies and laws or whatever that have been enacted by the National Assembly. So while we are busy trying to get the table ready for elections in 2023 and move to the next stage, the executive, the ministry, the civil servants, they are still working to ensure that Nigeria is moving.
All right, we've had Honorable Samu representing Ikwano, Umaya North, Umaya South Federal Constituency. Watch this space. We eventually get what comes out of that state, especially in terms of some of the contestations there. My name is Fisao Gufi. Thanking you for watching. Don't forget that the APC presidential primary is expected to start on Monday. Keep it locked on Nigerian Television Authority for updates, news, reviews, previews, and interviews. It's a political season, as I always say. Play your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now. Thank you.